Our story begins in that quiet town where we see our hero Alec sitting and fishing. Then the magic master, named Eldas, approaches him and asks if he is interested in magic. Alec is surprised and tells him that he wishes to learn magic. We then see Eldas training Alec and giving him instructions. To hit the target, he must focus and imagine that a companion is in danger and he must save her. We then see Alec trying to follow the instructions. He then launches a fireball from his magic circle at the target and hits it. He is very happy because he succeeded, and Master Eldas congratulates him, noting that he is progressing very quickly in the training, as today's spell was very difficult and took them nearly a month to learn. They then end the day's training, and Eldas tells him to rest and fish until nightfall. We then see them fishing, but Alec looks annoyed because he does not want to fish. Instead, he wants to learn more magic. Eldas tells him that he possesses an innate talent and will become a high-level mage without being taught anything. He advises him to let magic carry him forward like a river current. Alec is surprised and asks why he is teaching him magic then. Before Eldas can answer, the fishing rod catches a fish, and he pulls it out of the water. To the next morning, we see Eldas training him in magic again, and teaching him a new spell. Days go by, and Alec learns more spells and becomes proficient in using magic. One day, Master Eldas informs him that he will be leaving the town. Alec is very sad. Eldas advises him that even if the opportunity presents itself, he should not become a court mage. Alec is surprised and asks why he taught him magic. Eldas tells him it is because he is indebted to his late mother, and then he leaves. Years later, at the Royal Academy of Magic, we see Alec looking at a book and realizing that Master Eldas graduated first in his class and became a court mage, but was later exiled. That's why he was always sad. Alec then decides that he will change the court and do everything in his power, and this will be his way to repay Eldas's favor. He will become a great court mage. We then see Alec with the leader of the mages group, Regulus. Regulus expels Alec from the group because, in his view, Alec failed in his mission during the last battle. All the group members exerted themselves in the battle except for him. He did nothing but simple support. Regulus angrily tells him, "You are not a court mage, Alec, you disgust me." Then Liney says that the leader is right. During battles, Alec always says, "No need to go further, let's turn back." And he is always afraid of going deep into the dungeons. They initially allowed him to join their squad, obeying the king's orders. But the prince leader could no longer tolerate it, and was tired of clearing the dungeon with a useless person like him. Alec tries to explain and begs them not to expel him from the squad, but they will not listen to him. They all decide to expel him from the squad. The prince leader takes Alec's dagger and tells him that he will not allow him to carry a weapon from now on. He also takes the robe, telling him that he does not deserve the court mage's robe. Then they leave him and depart. We then see Alec in his room, very sad because he was expelled from his squad. He studies magic more and more and decides to go again and try to beg the prince to take him back into the squad. When he goes to the prince's room, the guards block his way and tell him to return the way he came. He has been stripped of the rank of court mage and has become a commoner, and they will not allow him to enter the castle. Then Lenny comes out and tells him that he is completely expelled and there is no need for him to come here often. You're expelled. That's it. Your record for clearing the capital's dungeon when you were at the academy was pathetic. The deepest anyone had reached before was the 37th floor, and you only got to the 68th floor, didn't you? Enough of this nonsense, Alec. Alec calls out to her. Liney, wait! Give me this chance! Please! Give this letter to the king, please! But she ignores him and walks away. He looks at her again and says, "Please, give it to him. I will truly be grateful to you." She actually takes it from him, but then tears it into tiny shreds. Alec is stunned by the situation, as if a thunderbolt has struck him. She scolds him further, saying, "How disgusting, you hateful wretch! Guards, get him out of here!" She then leaves him and departs. The scene then shifts. Alec is in the city, wandering its streets, talking to us, saying, "Over the past 4 years, I felt humiliation and sorrow, but I also tried my best as a court mage. But in the end, I couldn't change the court." At that moment, he meets his old friend Yurha. He is shocked when he sees her, but she quickly runs to him and gives him a warm hug. He tells her what happened and apologizes for not meeting for 4 years, as he was a source of misery. She tells him, "That's life, a day for you and a day against you. Days will pass and run by, and you will become the best one, even better than them. But I am so happy that I met you again, Alec. Do you remember what I told you 4 years ago? That we would include you in our squad someday?" He replies, "Yes, I remember that well, but unfortunately, luck wasn't on my side." She gets up from her seat, extends her hand to him, and says, "We have the chance now. How about entering the dungeon again, you and I, together? I want you to accompany me. I need your help." He tells her, "But I'm just a useless court mage." She replies that he is not useless. Rather, he is the foundation of everything. "Days will pass, and you will prove that you are truly great. I need you. I don't need anyone else." His eyes shine with a gleam, as if he is so happy that he is about to cry from intense joy. He then gets up from his seat and extends his hand to her, a sign of his agreement to the start of a new legend. They will complete what they started in those endless days. Welcome back to the squad, rookie. Alec recalls his teacher's words. If you are ever given the chance to become a court mage, do not do it. The scene then shifts to Alec and his friend Yurha riding in a carriage. His friend speaks to him, finding him absent-minded. He tells her, "I was just thinking that my teacher was right. Don't worry about it. I was just dreaming of the old days." The scene then moves to His Highness the Prince and his group, who are talking about Alec. They believe he has run away and become an adventurer. The prince scoffs and says it was said that he was the best student the academy ever knew. So I was curious to see how great he was, but he was just a coward. Liney then says, "From now on, we won't work with a useless commoner, but with the true noble His Highness the Prince. Soon, we will penetrate the dungeon like never before, and the whole world will know your name, your highness." The prince is very pleased and laughs hysterically. The scene then shifts to Alec and his friend walking in a place called the Dungeon, El Sardab, which is full of adventurers from everywhere, hence the name. They then go to register Alec at the Adventurers Guild. The employee tells them that it is not possible because of the regulations. You must bring us a Dungeon Floor 30 Overcoming license, which is only available to those who have spent 2 years with one of the guilds. They try to persuade the employee to admit him to the guild, but it is in vain as she insists on following the orders to the letter. Afterward, they move to eat some food outside. Yura says, "We've reached the 52 ND floor of the dungeon we're working on, and we can't wait 2 years. Yura talks to Alec and says, "Let's just drop it already. I've had enough complaining. Let's start from a place we can actually go to." Alec asks, "And where would that be?" She replies, "Let's do some warm-up. We don't need a permit to enter the lower floors since we're adventurers, and this is a dungeon city." Then both Yura and Alec use their powers to fight the red flabbers. Alec defeats them easily with his strength. Yura says, "I was planning to make this a simple round trip today, but it seems I was wrong. These red flabbers aren't few in number. There are tons of them." Alec responds, "They're panicking. Something must have happened to their nest." Yura looks surprised. "I didn't expect to get stuck on the second floor," she says, using her shield to block the attacking red flabbers. Alec stops her. "Let's be smart about this and take them down one by one." Yura insists, "I'll use my shield. You haven't fully regained your strength yet. You normally wouldn't have trouble with these creatures, so let me handle this. We're partners, remember?" Alec then gathers his full power to protect his comrades and unleashes his magic against the red flabbers. Together, they manage to defeat them all. But suddenly a huge monster appears and grabs Yura. Alec realizes it's the reason the red flabbins were acting that way. He tells Yura she has great power to encourage her, then summons his dragon to face the monster. After a fierce battle, he defeats it. Yura lands safely and tells him, "You really are the strongest mage." He thanks her. They then rush to help their friends, and together manage to slay the dragon. Everyone rejoices. One of their teammates says, "We did it! We've cleared floor 68! It's a new record!" They all join hands and say, "Lasting period, may these days continue forever." And that's the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything new.
Our episode today begins with everyone anticipating the results in the graduation ceremony. We see Rosa, the girl with the slightly whitish hair, saying, "These troublesome kids have been worrying me. They're a brilliant team." Yes, friends, I'm talking about the 68th floor conquerors. They achieve a spectacular victory, massively surpassing their previous record of the 37th floor. The team before you now is the Alex squad. They even managed to clear the floor containing the Hydro boss. Then we see the headmistress addressing them. Listen closely. I will now announce the results. In 4th place in the class is Ernest Rye. Yes, that pale boy with the green eyes. In 3rd place is Krisha, the beautiful girl with the gray eyes. 2nd place is Yura, the girl with the red hair. And the undisputed top of the class is Alex, the one with the distinctive, beautiful orange cat eyes. They try to tease her, saying, "Thank you, Raza-chan," but she hates being called Chan. The group repeats the name, making her furious. She snaps, "I told you never to call me that or I'll beat you senseless." Afterward, they leave this beautiful place just before sunset with falling leaves everywhere. Suddenly, Alex stops and declares, "I've decided I will become a court mage. My father was against it, but I want this because I want to earn money. I want him to relax for once in his life. He raised me alone after my mother died. He suffered so much. Also, my friend trained me a lot in the beginning. I thought we could all become adventurers, but this is life. Some are adventurers, some are plumbers. Some are laborers, some are ministers. Life has ranks and different people." Ernest speaks up. "If you join us, we will undoubtedly be the best squad, consisting of the 4 geniuses the Academy has ever known." "We are truly the greatest 4, Krisha immediately retorts. "What? Do you really consider yourself a genius?" Ernest gets angry. "Shut up, you animal. I would have been first in class any other year," but she keeps provoking him. Alex simply smiles. Then Yura talks to him. "Alex, listen well. We might take different paths, but one day, after we achieve something great, we'll come back to recruit you. We really want you with us. We will stay in constant contact, and someday we'll form an amazing team, though we don't know when that day will come. Maybe we'll be waiting impatiently for it." After this, Alex goes with Yura to drink juice and celebrate the welcome, but she is very sad that he is leaving her alone. Then, she falls asleep on the table, likely from exhaustion. Alex covers her carefully. Just then, a strange person approaches him and says, "How kind of you. You are truly gentle, but you shouldn't act this way." Alex doesn't pay him any attention. He doesn't even look up. He ignores the man and continues eating and drinking. The other man gets furious. "That's very bad behavior, new guy. Let me teach you some manners." He attempts to hit Alex with a glass wine bottle he's carrying, but Alex instantly activates a shield wall, easily protecting himself. Alex finally looks at him. The large man says, "I know you well. I heard you were a court mage in Gildana, but what is an elite mage like you doing here as an adventurer?" He hands Alex a permit to enter a certain area, saying, "Consider this a thank you for trying to hit you, but there's one condition. Magic. Show me your magic. Now Alex asks, who are you? But then Yura wakes up and exclaims, what? The Guildmaster. What brings you here? Alex is shocked. The Guildmaster says, come with me to the open arena. Welcome to the lower ring. We usually use this to test teams we want to rank up. The rules are simple, but you must impress me with your magic. The Guildmaster Aster introduces himself as Level. Alex recognizes him as the incredibly powerful Mage, who previously led an S-rank squad. Levelville confirms, yes, that's me, but that was a long time ago. Now, let's get serious. Alex immediately uses lightning power, but Level counters with even greater force. Not only that, but Level uses a simple enhancement spell, Jet Booster, and moves at such high speed that no one can track him. He attempts a decisive blow, but Alex swiftly uses the wall to protect himself. The force of the blow throws him far away, but he gets up and thinks fast. He then uses thunder magic to create a shield and a sword. Level yells, come at me, don't hesitate. Alex charges quickly, using a shocking lightning strike that momentarily overwhelms Level's magic. Levelville steps back and says, you are great and this is fun. This time he uses overwhelming energy, the invincible dragon's power. His hands transform into the hands of a mighty dragon and he swoops down for a strike. Alex dodges quickly. What incredible power! The strike demolishes the ground as if a missile has hit it from thousands of miles away. Alex uses his thunder energy, but it's not enough. Level closes in and lands an incredibly powerful punch, but Alex activates the protection wall again. Level keeps striking repeatedly until he finally breaks the barrier. Alex doesn't give up. He lands a direct hit on Levelville's chest, then quickly circles around him, trying to land the finishing blow. But at that exact moment, something strange happens. His magical energy is depleted, and he collapses, unconscious, onto the ground. Yorha quickly rushes to check on him and heal him. At that moment, another person arrives and says, what are you doing without me, and how can an S-rank adventurer use all his energy at once? They take Alex home. They talk about how Alex has suffered in recent years, being rejected by everyone, and no one ever acknowledging his abilities. Ura looks at him with disappointment and sadness. At that moment, a guild girl rushes in and says, we have a huge problem! Help us quickly! The Guildmaster takes her and leaves. Afterward, Ernest talks to Yura about her life story. A miserable, boring, and very difficult tale. No matter her abilities, no one supported her, but she relied on herself, fighting and making great efforts until she reached second place. Alex wakes up and asks, what? Why am I here? They tell him not to worry. Yura says, what do you think of this surprise? You got your license. Now we can go to the crypt together. Ernest interrupts. Wait, there's something very important we must settle first. Revenge. Yes, we will go to the palace of that wretch prince and strike a powerful blow. Alex calms him down. Easy. I'm angry about this too, but I'm not upset to that extent. Ernest replies. You can't accept this. The whole world knows about this aggression and lack of resistance. Alex reminds him that fighting other teams is forbidden everywhere. Ernest asks, yeah, aren't you angry about what they did to one of our comrades? She replies, to be honest, I am angry, but we shouldn't do anything. We should just forgive those who hit and attacked us. This is not the time for revenge. Ernest says, fine, you're right. We must become the strongest adventurers in the world. Then we'll do whatever we want. If their country ever gets into trouble, they will undoubtedly come begging to us. Yes, I will wait for that moment when we refuse the request of the wretch prince. The scene quickly shifts to Level the Guildmaster. A girl has been directly hit and injured, yet he scolds her. An S-rank squad running into trouble means the entire guild runs into trouble. What is happening, Krisha? She replies, unfortunately, we need help. Gather some members immediately. Levelville quickly gathers many members and says, I believe we are lucky to have so many of you gathered for this short mission. I assume you guessed why you were summoned, but we are assembling a rescue team for Rorma. Kriya's team, standing right here, that beautiful girl with the hair, they are on the 64th floor, a level that devastates those with heavy defenses. Everyone is shocked. The scene shifts to Alec. Krisha comes to him and asks, why do you look so troubled? You look like you're 50 years old. Don't overthink things. He replies, life and its dark woes, but thankfully, how are you? She says, I'm fine, but I'm very sad to see you like this. I wanted to tell you, they are currently having a meeting. Aren't you going? He explains. They wanted to rank adventurers. I'm still just a newcomer. She uses her full healing ability on him and says, how about this? I won't ask where you were, what you were doing, or what messed you up like this, but if you're suffering, why don't you talk to me? You know, I'm a doctor and specialized in these things. Oh, sorry. I just don't want to cause trouble. She approaches and puts her hand on his head. Just then, Ernest enters and says, Alex, the moment you've been waiting for has arrived. We've mobilized the old man, meeting the Guildmaster, for a rescue mission. They explain what happened. This place is located in the West Vistil Crypt, the crypt we are currently clearing. We cannot use healing magic there, so you will need potions. The matter is very dangerous, and we will rely on you, Alex, for this mission. You are free to accept or refuse this task, going to the 64th floor. Your mission will be the hardest, fighting the boss. Alex says, I'm fine, don't worry. Apart from my fear of being out of practice, I'll go. They will go in 2 groups, and the Guildmaster will also go there. Alex didn't hesitate. He accepted the responsibility, and they quickly headed to the West Vistil Crypt. What will they do there? Will things go as planned, or will the situation turn into a major catastrophe? Tune in for the next episode, but make sure to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell notification so you receive everything new and exclusive.
The anime episode starts with Alex and his friend Yorha at this dungeon, where their goal is to rescue Rickroma. They are on the 64th floor, which has the level that is devastating to tanks, and where healing magic does not work. If they take the normal route, they won't arrive in time, but they can use this core to avoid boss fights and reach the level where Rickroma was found. This core is essential if anyone wants to conquer the deepest levels, as their core paves the way to the 52nd floor. But if they use the core that Krista brought with her, they will be able to shortcut directly to the 64th floor. Alex wonders at that time why the guildmaster would give them something of such importance. His friend Yorha answers him that the other team also has a core like theirs. She then says that, according to what she heard, the boss of the 64th floor is an undead, so they will rely on Alex in this battle, and he must do his best to conserve his resources. Yorha then uses the core to teleport to the 64th floor, and they indeed arrive at the 64th floor, which is called the Tank Conqueror. There, they find many monsters in the form of skeletons heading towards them to kill them, but Ernest rushes at them to kill them. Yorha hurries to him to support him with her magic, and at that moment Alex is surprised, because he didn't imagine that Ernest also possesses a relic weapon. His friend Krista tells him that this sword is the black spear that pierces and cuts. It is sharp and almost impossible to break. These are all its features, but she doubts that this spear suits Ernest. But it is indeed the ideal weapon for this fight, as Ernest has left them nothing to do. Ernest continues fighting these monsters, and suddenly, Alex feels the presence of something frightening behind him. He quickly uses his magic to kill this frightening thing, but he finds nothing. However, he is sure that he felt something strange behind him. Ernest asks him what it is and where its location is. Alex stumbles a little, and suddenly he swings his sword towards something and is indeed able to reveal that large monster. When he sees it, he knows it is the Soul Reaper. The fight begins between them, then many monsters appear again, as they appear and disappear. During the fight, Ernie talks to Alex that he didn't know he still had these skills. He then asks him not to misunderstand him, as he heard that there are invisible enemies, but he doesn't know how to face them. He is a genius, and Alex is a mage, so this is supposed to be easy for him. Alex understands from his words that he means that he hasn't been favored with any expectations or trust during the last 4 years, but he still refuses to accept what Ernest did. Then he kills the Soul Reaper monster, and suddenly, many monsters surround them. Everyone panics except Ernest, who doesn't care about anything. His friend Yorha tells him that she realizes she told them this before, but they are here on a rescue mission, and what he is doing is not right. Ernest and Alex then rush at these monsters to kill them. After that, Alex orders his friends to stand behind them to end the matter. He then uses a spell called Tharbolt to destroy these monsters and indeed kills them all. Ernest asks him why he only used it, as it is the only incantation he used against the old man, as he knows that he had many tricks. Alex ignores his words and asks his friend to leave this place. Ernest stops him, saying that he feels that he is hiding things from them and he must reveal them. Suddenly, they hear terrible sounds of destruction coming from afar. Yorha understands that these sounds are definitely coming from the boss's floor. Ernest becomes more and more excited, then he runs quickly towards these sounds. Alex orders his friend to go after him, and they all indeed go after him. Suddenly, they find themselves in this barren desert where Ernest is sitting on the ground. Alex goes to him and asks him for his help, but quickly this monster appears running after this boy. And this boy is screaming for help to come to him. And this boy is screaming for help to come to him. When Ernest sees him, he knows he is Lox Silverial, and he tells them that he is a deceitful support mage who took most of the time in Rickroma. Lox hears him and reproaches him, telling him that he will make him regret this, and that he will return to haunt them if he dies. Ernest tells him that everyone here calls him a scoundrel. Alex tells him that he is the only one who calls him that. Then we see that Loxy is still running from that monster, and suddenly he falls to the ground. The monster pounces on him to hit him. They are scared, but Krista tells him that he is fine, as this is Loxy's way of fighting. Then we see the monster heading toward Loxy to kill him. Loxy uses trap magic to catch that monster. Krista says that if they speak seriously, they can consider him a brilliant strategist. Then, we see Loxy using his flames on that monster. The monster keeps mocking him. Loxy uses his power to kill the monster with it. After that, the battle begins between the monster and Alex and his friends. When Alex tries to use his power, the monster runs away from them, but it chases Loxy. Alex uses his power to strike it, and he indeed hits it. Oh, something along. The monster, however, escaped and was unharmed. Then we see Ernest throwing Loxy to them, so they can save themselves from the monster. Yorha asks Krasia to carry Loxy and climb to a high place, saying, "We must protect Loxy from everything. You and Alex cooperate and finish it." After that, we see Loxy on the rock with Krasia, waiting below for a signal from her to attack the monster. Krasia indeed signals them, and they use their magic, and Ernest runs to hit the monster, but the monster hits him, and he falls to the ground. Yorha goes to save Ernest. Then we notice Loxy watching them from above, saying that the lasting party is reunited. He comments on Alex when he uses his magic, saying, his ability to cast 3 spells at once means he is skilled, and his whispers make him a genius. Krasia then informs him that Alex can cast many more than that. Ernest attacks the monster and hits it in the back, saying, "You underestimated me, but you can reflect on that with your life." We see Alex using his magic on the monster and is very happy because he is killing it, but suddenly the monster withdraws from the magical core that Alex used on it, and nothing happens to it. Everyone is astonished by that. Then Ernest asks Krasia to finish it off. Crescia indeed aims her arrow at the monster, and each of them uses their magic and attacks the enemy with it. Alex says about the monster, "You are calmer than I expected considering the circumstances. But you chose the worst attack you could use against me. He taught me a very special spell that only 2 people in the history of the Academy can use. The first is its genius creator and the other is Alex. He then uses his power on the monster, and the monster tries to defend itself, but doesn't know what to do. Then it falls to the ground, but it is not dead. After that, Ernest attacks it and cuts it in half. Then Ernest asks Alex, 'What do you mean by savage beast?' Alex tells him, 'That is my way of encouraging you.' Then everyone goes to Ernest and mocks him and laughs at him. Loxy comes and tells them how expected of the legendary lasting party. Then he tells Alex, 'I know everything about you, the magic that defeated Hydria. Some say that's not true, but I believe it.' Alex says, 'I am a former mage, so it is not a matter of resentment.' Blox talks to him, saying, 'That's not what I mean. It was foolish of the Geladon court to let you go.' He thanks Yora, saying, 'And congratulations on being the one who restored the favor to you. Anyway, since you are helping me, may I have some potions? I gave everything I have to my team, and they believe I won't show up to fight. The one you defeated was likely a boss, and there are many bosses.' Ernest says, 'My duty was to keep the idiots away. Drawing attention is suitable for you as I am very talented.' Ernest then gives him a potion to drink. He then talks to Loxay, saying, 'You are very kind. You know it wasn't free, so you owe me.' Yorha then gets annoyed with him, saying to Alex, 'They always behave like this. Enough wasting our time. Tell us about the other boss.' Lox tells her, yes, the real boss, like the previous boss, is an undead. He is a knight whose entire body is covered in black armor, although the armor may be empty. I am sure that physical attacks will not cause him any damage.' Then he gives Alex this cross, saying to him, 'This is for you. You are also skilled at using weapons. That is very clear and I can see this. You get very close to the enemy as a frontline fighter. You are very good at making the enemy believe you are the biggest threat, and you are easy prey.' He says, 'I am a support mage, so understanding the battlefield is my duty. This is a relic weapon. You cannot face the deeper floor bosses without it. It is called Schwart. Consider it yours now.' Then Ernest says, 'Why are you giving him this valuable thing?' Yorha replies to him, 'You are trying to turn Alex into a frontline fighter. We are going to fight an undead without a body. You don't want him to use magic. That's stupid.' Then we see Ernest saying, 'I love these things. Lies, deception, misdirection, and traps. Every wicked trick imaginable. That's why we start by deceiving our friends. He will launch a wicked surprise attack from the front.' This is how today's episode of this anime ends. Wait for us in the next episode. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all that is new. The beginning of our episode features this group running quickly from monsters. Yes, these monsters you see before you now are the carnivorous worms. Her friends said to her, 'Yelena, hit them with a deadly spell now.' She replied, 'Unfortunately, I can't work now. My magic isn't working. We must run quickly.' But Valor takes hold of him and he says, 'You are useless. I must face them myself.' Then he uses his sword and immediately falls. Lena said to him, 'We must retreat, your highness.' So they quickly carry him and flee. He thinks and says, 'Why am I weak?' After rethinking the matter, it started after I expelled him, and he means Alex. Perhaps that boy cursed me to take revenge for expelling him. The scene quickly shifts to that man, a descendant of the Fereños Vogan family, and his highness apologizes to him, saying, 'I'm very sorry for making you work now, but go ahead, take your chance and see if someone has cast a curse on me or not.' After performing some spells, the descendant informed him that there was nothing, and that he was 100% normal. The other person becomes very angry and says to him, 'How is this possible? Do you mean that I am the one mistaken, and that I am weak? Perhaps a spell was cast on me to make me weak enough.' The descendant told him, 'I only told you the truth, and I don't flatter anyone.' The other person gets angry again and says to him, 'No, perhaps that fool, Alex, cursed me. I didn't find any difficulty on the 30th floor, and it is very easy.' The descendant informed him, 'You find difficulty on this floor because it contains anti-magic fields. Perhaps your supporting magic simply doesn't work. Didn't Alex tell you before that this floor contains anti-magic fields?' Ren informed him. 'How could that fool know this matter? He's just a beginner kid.' But the descendant, Fraud, tells him, 'Alex was a member of the legendary squad who reached the 68th floor.' At that, the other person mocks him, laughing, and says to him, 'That's just a mythical story spread by the commoners.' At that moment, the door knocks, and one of the guards comes to him and says, 'Excuse me, sir. The king has requested to speak with you immediately about Alex.' He smiles a very wicked smile. Then the scene shifts there, and he says to him, 'What do you want from me, father?' His father, the king, informed him, 'Do you know a person named Aldous? Do you know this name? He is the name of the court mage whom I banished decades ago. That person dared to confront me and told me that the way court mages are treated must be changed, or a terrible fate will befall the city of Galdana in the near future. He was a noble and dared to utter such foolishness. He was very strong. But the strange thing about the matter is that no noble has the right to speak to the king in that manner. How, father, did he dare to confront you?' The king continues the rest of the story and says, 'Unfortunately, the story did not stop there. After being stripped of his position and family name, he attended magic academies as a commoner. He silenced his critics with his high skills, then exploited the special privileges granted to him by his first-place rank in the batch to return to my side as a court mage. Then he disappeared from the palace after almost a year, where he told me, "Commoners are not useless, sir. I discovered this myself when one of them saved me." Then the king spoke to his son and said to him, "My son, Do you understand why I ordered you, the crown prince, to explore the dungeon? But the son tells him that he doesn't know. The king speaks again and says to him, I wanted to know if what he said was true or not. We must have equality and justice among people, and therefore the time has finally come to change the way things are run in my kingdom. First, our policy of discrimination against commoners. We will change it completely. We will hire highly skilled people like Alex. When the son heard this, he was greatly shocked. He started muttering words and saying, this is ridiculous. Accepting help from commoners will bring shame to our family for generations. I know things will change a lot, but we must be fair between us and the people. We cannot steal everything. This is contempt. And he said to him, Father, we do not want to do this. We must not do this. We are the kings, and they are the slaves. I am the proof of that, Father. Look at my hand. It was broken when those fools intervened. If I were alone, I could have cleared the entire dungeon. At that moment, that man comes and says to him, look, Rego, at that discarded paper. Yes, it's for clearing the 30th floor, a report written by Alex himself. The boy gets angry again as if he saw a ghost. He is greatly shocked and his hands tremble. Then his father says to him, one must clear the floor several times to be able to write that. The boy gets angry and leaves his father, the king. Here, the king calls upon Mr. Vogan and says to him, I know this won't be easy, but you must help him. The boy leaves, truly shocked and crying, as if his head would explode. He says, I don't understand anything. He wrote a complete report. How did he do that? Perhaps he wasn't useless as I told him, but I am the one who is useless to the point that I don't deserve to know the truth. Then he gets extremely angry and breaks the vase. After that, we see Alex with his friends, where his friend Loki informs him that this new sword will be his gift. Alex is amazed by it. Then they tell him that he realizes that ancient weapons are powerful, but this is an undead boss and resistant to physical attacks. Orenice interrupts him and tells Loki not to suddenly show up and tell them what to do. Loki asks him to calm down first so he can hear him, as he tells him that he doesn't mean he should never use magic. Yora understands that his plan is to make the boss think Alex is a warrior, and it wasn't a bad plan, but they didn't know the point of trying to trick a monster. Loki answers them that he is sure that the floor boss is intelligent and also a brilliant duelist, but he knows they won't believe him. Alex tells him that he should see it for himself first. Loki told him that he wasn't here to give him orders. He only wants him to use his sword until he gives him the signal, and of course he can defeat it with a dazzling spell. Alex thinks a little and agrees to do that. Then he addresses Krazia as he needs her help with one of the spells. Krazia replies to him coldly and tells him that she doesn't take orders from him. He asks her if she doesn't want to clear this large dungeon on her feet, as he thought of taking a shortcut by instantaneous transfer, but the spell drains a lot of magic, and he doesn't think he has enough magic. She informs him that instantaneous transfer is a highly secret magic known only to governments. He informs her that he stole it, but it's okay, as long as he's not caught. Then he tells them that if he uses it on them, they will become his accomplices in the crime. Alex thinks for a bit, then tells his friend Yora that if something happens in that matter, they should put all the blame on Loki. Then Loki sits with Krazia to draw the spell on the ground, then asks her to charge the spell with magical energy. After that, Alex talks with Yora and asks her if they can put their trust in Loki. She answers him that they shouldn't trust him, but they must rely on him. Then she tells him that 2 years ago he organized the raid on the extremely difficult Arcana dungeon without any casualties, and that his team leader is known for his righteousness. Alex is amazed by him, then calls out to his friend Orionest and asks him to train together. Orius refuses, so as not to be lenient with himself because he has lost his fitness, and if Alex trains with him, he will never go easy on him. But Alex insists on his opinion. Orius asks him if he remembers the rules or not. Whoever falls first loses, and whoever loses first is punished. Loki hears them and laughs at their movements. Krazia informs him that they have known each other for 4 years, and this applies to Rikroma. She doesn't believe that he agreed to face the floor boss alone. Loki replies to her that if she wants him to teach her something different, she should ask him, for he is capable of teaching her different things. She gets angry at him and tells him that she will kill him if he says that again. Then they gather next to each other to use the instantaneous transfer spell to move to the location determined by Loki. Then he asks them to prepare for the fight. Then he mocks Orienist, where he says that their group is very ideal, except for the genius pretender Orienist. Orius gets angry at him, but doesn't manage to do anything because the spell activates and they actually move to that floor. There they find these two people fighting the floor boss, but they can't kill it or escape from it. The group leader asks his friend Krista to go to the guild and take this crystal to inform Level that they need an A-rank mage, but they want a better mage than that. Suddenly, Marble runs toward the monster to attack it. The leader calls out to her and informs her that they don't have enough magic, so don't be reckless, as they can't even delay it. Orenius suddenly runs toward the monster and asks them to get out of his way, then hits it, but it is not affected at all, as it is very strong. After that, Alex appears from behind the monster to hit it too. The monster lunges at them to strike them. After that, Loki and Krazia go to Rule and Marble to take them to treat them. Then we see Alex and Orionest fighting the monster, but its armor is tough. Then Orenius says, then we shouldn't consider this a fight against a person. I've done this before. I won't let you escape once, you won't escape a second time. Then Alex runs at him and cuts off its head. But suddenly, the monster rises again without a head. Everyone is shocked by that. Yuri says, an undead monster, half horse and half man, but the monster we killed before was his steed. Suddenly, it disappears, then appears above them and attacks Alex. Alex rushes to block its strikes, saying, speed and strength, these levels, it wasn't fighting with its full strength. Then Ray uses her strength, and Loki also uses his strength, and they attack the monster with Alex's help and throw it far away onto the ground. Loki says, I knew that attack wouldn't work. Alex replied, "The armor is extremely strong. I used a blunt weapon, and luckily it didn't break." Orinus informs him, "Your magic sword would have broken on the first strike, but it will rise again. If we could kill it with our sword, it wouldn't be undead." The monster appears again, wearing the mask, and its voice is very loud. Then it attacks Alex and throws him far away. But Yuri uses her strength and protects Alex. She rushes to him to check on him. Then he told her, "It can use combat arts too. If I had delayed casting the spell for a second, I would have met my end." After that, Alex asks Loki, "How much time should I save?" Loki informed him, 5 minutes, according to my guess. Then Alex said to him, "You make it sound easy. I have 3 doses left." Then we go to Orionis, who attacks the monster alone and can't do anything without Alex. Then Orias drinks his last dose and rushes to attack the monster, striking it with Alex. Then they strike hard, but the monster blocks all the strikes. Ornius talks to Alex, saying, "After 4 years, we finally met, and that foolish look was on your face all this time. What did you go through? Don't be silent until you tell me what you're hiding. I can't save you unless you tell me. I can do several things to help you. We were companions for 6 years. We ate together and protected each other. Am I wrong to want to help you solve your problems?" Alex tells him, "This is not fair. I wanted to return the favor. I thought that if I changed the court, I would return his favor. That's the reason I left, even though you wanted me to stay." Then they attack the monster, and it blocks their strikes, and Alex continues his speech, saying, "In the end, that was all I could do, maintain my position." Orius informs him, "Your wish was important, or else I wouldn't have endured staying in that dirty place. That's enough for me." Alex is astonished and cries. Then Loki intervenes using his magic, saying, "Exactly 5 minutes later, the time for using muscles without a brain is over. The intelligent monster is still a monster I can trick." Suddenly, the monster gets angry and attacks Loki. Alex asks him to move away, but the monster strikes him. Loki informs him, "My special magic circle scared him. You have the right to be afraid of a mage, but you panicked and entered the magic circle directly." Then Loki disappears and speaks from above, saying, "I started by tricking our friends, and now we've progressed faster than we should have. Let's do something about that." We see that Loki tricked them and used his magic, placing magic circles on the ground, saying, "It's natural that Orinest would get angry and attack me directly." Orinest understands that this is their agreement, as this is the real reason you asked for Krazia's help. Krazia uses her magic on Orionis, then he attacks the monster. Loki tells her what is expected from a healing expert. "I'm surprised by your ability to turn that spell into a trap in a short time after seeing it only once." Then Marble comes and attacks the monster, but it blocks her attack, saying, "Our friend Loki discovered that." The monster gets angry and goes towards Loki. Then Loki asks Krazia to retreat. Krazia informs him, "The monster exposed him, and we should have expected that luck wouldn't be our ally twice." Then the monster attacks him, and he blocks its strikes. Yuri uses her magic, and many magic circles appear in the sky, and shackles come out of them and bind the monster, but it is very strong. Then the monster strikes Loki and throws him from above. Alex informs him that the stage is ready for him. "Take all the glory." Then Alex replies to him, "Leave it to me." This is how today's episode of this anime ends. Wait for us in the upcoming episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive everything new. Our episode begins with Alec talking to his friends, asking them, "Are you free today?" Yaruha replied, "Yes, I am completely free," thinking he was going to invite them out for a treat. Meanwhile, Krashia said, "I am also free," and Ornist also informed him that he was free, as he loves going out. It was then that Alec shocked them, saying, "Won't you take me on a tour of this beautiful country?" At this, everyone's demeanor changed and they quickly ran away, while Yoroha stayed with him and told him, "Don't worry, I'm with you and I'll show you the city bit by bit." In the afternoon, they went out for a stroll in the city. Alec was very happy. Yoroha informed him that Vizel is an adventurous city with weapons, armor, and various items, in addition to shops, spare parts, and everything. However, the merchants here are very deceitful. Many of them steal things and scam people, especially beginner adventurers. They talk about Ornist and Krasha, saying that they always buy things they don't want, wasting their money on trivial items, and that they can never shop alone. Alec then said to them, "Well, I will take over the shopping from now on." After that, they took a break, drank tea, and talked about Ornist and Krasha. He asked her why Krasha and Ornist hate Loki so much. Yoroha began to tell the story, saying, "This happened before Ornist got his relic weapon. He is reckless and careless, as you know. When it's time to fight, he likes to brandish his weapon a lot, but he takes good care of his weapons. I remember how he used to clean and polish it at the academy after every trip. When they asked him, 'Aren't you going to buy a new weapon?' he would tell them, 'I won't change my weapon as long as the one I have is fine.'" She then continued her story, saying, "2 years ago, we encountered a Rankus squad that was having trouble in a certain dungeon. That's when Loki and Uriel appeared to offer help. They cooperated together, and while fighting the floor boss, Ornist was injured in the back while being protected by one of the adventurers from the squad. He wasn't doing well, but he tried hard to pretend that he wasn't hurt at all. But the result was otherwise. His strength gave out on the way back. He has a strange pride. Loki and Uriel carried him. After that, things got worse. Loki took his weapon and threw it far away while Ornist was unconscious. Loki said that his weapon was worn out and unusable, and threw it away, as we saw. I don't think Loki did that with bad intentions. I think he got rid of it because it was truly worn out, but Ornist was very angry. Loki didn't stop there, but provoked him more and more. Since that time, they have never gotten along. As for Krasha, she hates him because she doesn't like people with yellow hair. After that, they continued on their way and stopped at a vendor. She found a ribbon that boosts magical energy, but when she looked at the price, she found it was 50,000, a price far exceeding her expectations and budget. However, Alec didn't hesitate and bought it for her. She was very happy, as she hadn't expected him to buy it for her. Alec informed her, her magic is what keeps the squad going in battle. Yoroha thanked him greatly and told him she would cherish it. They then went to eat, and after finishing their outing, they stood on a balcony at sunset, happy that they could see the dungeon from that spot. Yoroha spoke to Alec asking him, did you like the city of Wiesel? He told her that it was a very enjoyable place, full of freedom and vitality, unlike Galdana. He felt like a true adventurer. She wanted to ask him again, but she was worried about being selfish towards him. When they met in Galdana, she invited him to join the squad, having exploited the fact that he had just been dismissed from the court. So she sometimes worried that perhaps this was not the place he truly wanted to be. He replied to her that if what she said was true, he would indeed want to do more in Galdana. But that was no longer important. Currently, he liked Ornest's idea of striving to become the strongest. With her, Ornest and Krasha, they would be able to do anything. Yoroha cried and told him that they would never allow any member of their squad to leave, and since she was the squad leader now, there was no sting period without the four of them. If he ever forgot that, she would ask Ornest to hunt him down to the ends of the earth. She then told him that she understood he was the type to hide his feelings, so she was pleased with their conversation. He told her that he wanted her to know his true feelings. Then, he told her that he lost his bet against Ornest, and as a punishment, he could no longer suppress his feelings. It wasn't just a bet, but a promise between two men. He then apologized to her for involving her in that matter. Yoroha got angry at his words. Alec tried to understand what was wrong, but she didn't tell him anything. The next morning, we find Alec asleep. Ornest comes to wake him up, knowing that he had been studying all night, as he does every time. Alec tells him that he was checking a lot of things, which is why he feels a headache. Ornest asks him not to strain himself. He should follow a natural schedule. He asks him to go wash his face, then eat and change his clothes, as an adventurer's day starts early, and this way he will always be full of energy in the morning. Alec gets ready, and they head out to the forest for the entire squad to train. We see Alec and Ornest fighting again, as they do every time. Krasha gets tired of them because they spar so much. Yoroha asks them if it's too early to be fighting with such intensity. Ornest replies that these close combat weapons were powerfully made. Alec interrupts him, saying that he has to do everything he can to catch up with them, as they have 4 years of combat experience on him. They then spar a lot until the match ends with Alec's wooden sword breaking. Alec tells him that he dodged all his attacks because he thought he would defeat him today. Ornest spoke to Alec saying, you won't defeat me in a fight for another 100 years. Let's try using the relic weapons now. They charged at each other, but Yuri stopped them, saying, I won't allow either of you to get hurt during training. Then Loki arrived, saying, pleased to see you training so early in the morning. I'd like to train you a little. I am a ranks adventurer. We see them walk away without hearing a single word from him. But when they realize that he is granting them his nomination for ranks, and he has the ranks ID card with him, we notice Yuri jumps up to take it from him but fails. He then speaks to her saying, if you want it, I want Ornest to apologize for his behavior towards me all this time. I will give it to you immediately. Ornest gets angry, and then Loki laughs heartily. Krasta, or Krasha based on the previous translation, hits him on the head, saying to him, you are a child for these actions. Krasta then apologizes to them for this fool's behavior, saying, we came to deliver this to you on behalf of the guildmaster. Yuri thanks them very much. Then this man tells them, this man Rikroma nominated you, and the Wiesel guildmaster approved, and you have been promoted to rank S. They are very happy. Krasta speaks to Alec, saying, the rank squad is allowed to enter the Arcana dungeon. It is a high difficulty dungeon, and more dangerous than floor 64. Resort to us if you have any questions. We don't consider your nomination sufficient payment for what you did for us. Contact us if you need us, and we will leave everything and come. Alec thanks them very much. Then Loki comes, saying, from now on we are 2 ranks teams. Come on, let's celebrate together by having some food. Yuri and Krasha are happy and shout at the top of their lungs that Loki invited them to a celebration feast. After that, the scene shifts to a restaurant where they are celebrating the promotion to rank S. Alec then speaks, saying, we are a rank squad. Ornest tells him, you still think about whether you belong here or not. If you continue thinking like that, you don't deserve ranks because you haven't done anything worth mentioning. I will beat you up. This is the start of our legend. Starting today, we will turn a new page. If you don't forget those trivial matters, we will punish you. Alec told him, you frighten me, a lot. Don't worry, I will pay attention to that. Yuri tells them that they should drink in celebration of their promotion to rank S. At night, they are very exhausted because they overate and drank too much. Alec tells them that Yuri drank excessively, even though she can't handle alcohol. Krasta replies to him, her spirits were high, not just about the promotion, but because you chose us instead of the king. Then Ornest says, you handled all that in our absence. If I had been there, I would have broken every bone in the prince's body. Then Misha rushes out of the palace, telling them that someone needs treatment. Krasta goes and uses her power to treat this young man. Afterwards, Misha thanks her, saying, there are a great number of injured people that exceeds the capacity of our healers. Krasha replied to her saying, no problem, just pay us when we complete our next mission. Still, you have many patients. She then asked her, saying, was there a large raid? Misha answered her, saying, didn't you hear about it? They weren't injured by monsters, but by other people. A group of criminals attacking adventurers, the Shadow Guild. Then the guildmaster came to them and asked Krasha, saying, I need your help here. Krasha asked him, saying, more injured? The guildmaster then said to her, the infirmary is full, so I brought her to my room. This is Oliva, from the Nameless Squad. She was alone when the Shadow Guild attacked her. Krasha then spoke, saying, her condition is serious. The guildmaster thanked her for her help. Krasha then spoke to herself, saying, sword wounds cover her body. Was she attacked by a swordsman? Her breathing is weak. I must help her regain her strength first. I will spend the night here. Then Oliva woke up and grabbed Krasia's hand, asking her, "Where am I?" Krasia replied to her, saying, "You are in a private room in the guild." She introduced herself to her, saying, "I am Krasia. The guild master asked me to take care of you." She then asked her, "Do you remember what happened? I heard the Shadow Guild attacked you inside the dungeon." Oliva replied to her, saying, "That traitor, I will find him." Krasia requested her, saying, "Don't move if you don't want to die." Oliva asked her, saying, "Heal my wounds quickly. That is why you are here, right? There is something I must do, please." Krasia refused, saying to her, "The condition of your wounds will worsen if you try to do anything. You are rank S and you don't know the basics of magic." Oliva replied to her, saying, "You are just a healer. What do you know about a swordsman like me?" Oliva collapsed on the bed. Krasia then treated her and spoke to herself, saying, "Not all of these wounds are recent. Old scars cover her body. This shows how many battles Oliva of Nameless has fought and survived. She is one of Vizel's best swordsmen. Who would do this to her? A traitor?" She then used her power to treat her. The scene then shifts to Alec taking a book from the library, where he says, "Arcana Dungeon Records. Here we go. I need 4 years of experience. I need enough knowledge to compensate for that at least." Then a girl spoke to him, saying, "You are a good student, Alec." Alec asked her, saying, "Are you talking to me?" She then asked him, "You are Alec Egret, right? I've been sitting here for a while." Alec apologized to her, saying, "I was engrossed in my book. I don't know your name, but how can I help you?" She replied. "The parfait at the cafe next to the library is very delicious, and I love sweets. Not to mention that I'm starving from waiting for so long. Did you understand me, Alec?" They went to eat sweets. The girl then said, "It's very delicious." She then ordered 5 more parfait desserts from the waitress. Alec was surprised by her, saying, "I don't know if this is a prank or what, but can you get to the point?" The girl replied to him, saying, "I am Luerge, and I am not just a cute guy. I am a member of the rankest squad, Nameless." What a reaction. You are a good boy. I heard that the 4th member of the Sting period has returned, and that they have reached rank S. So I wanted to know who this person is, Alec asked her, saying, "And what did you find out by talking to me just once?" The girl then said, "You are suitable to fill the void." The girl then asked him, "Are you interested in joining us? Because in our raid, someone entered the Labyrinth dungeon, Alec." And thus ends today's episode. If you like the video, press like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. The episode begins with Krasia entering the room to find Olivia and the guild leader. She finds Olivia practicing with a stick, refusing to answer the guild leader. Krasia becomes angry and asks him to stop her immediately, but he informs her that Olivia refuses to answer any question, scorns listening to him, and insists on not discussing the Shadow Guild. Krasia then calms her down. The guild leader asks her who attacked her and how, but Olivia refuses to answer, telling them that the real problem is that she is still unable to move her leg properly. The guild leader gets angry because his patience has run out. Krasia asks him to leave now, as she will treat Olivia. He exits angrily. Krasia then treats Olivia's leg and asks her to rest for a while. Olivia asks her, "Why didn't you ask me what happened?" Krasia recalls when Olivia had told her about the traitor, but she doesn't tell Olivia that she knows the truth. She asks Olivia to tell her if she needs anything. Olivia apologizes for treating her harshly, saying it was her weakness that got her involved in this mess, and she is very angry at herself. She tells Krasia she will repay her kindness someday. Krasia kisses her on the forehead and tells her that this is a simple charm to help her relax. Olivia recalls her mother doing the same thing for her in the past. Krasia then tells her she's thirsty, so Krasia pours her some tea. Olivia asks her for one more favor because she is very hungry and hasn't eaten since yesterday. Krasia leaves to fetch her some things to eat. The scene then shifts to Alec with his friends as he tells them that someone named Lorug from Nameless suggested they raid the dungeon. Yorha informs him that Lorug is an elf and the Nameless squad operates in a dungeon called Labyrinth. Alec recalls Lorug telling him that they would go to the 72nd floor, which is the penultimate floor. Their plan is to quickly clear the floor and take the dungeon core from the final floor, and he can have the core if he wants. Then he says to him, "To be honest, we owe a lot to some people, so we are in a hurry." He talks about the Shadow Guild. They attacked one of our friends. Alec understands from this that he means they will ambush the Shadow Guild, so he needs Alec and his friends to handle the dungeon. Lorluk tells him that's correct and hopes he accepts. Then he gives him that blue crystal and sends his regards to Yurha. We return to the present, and Alec takes out that core for them. Ornis gets angry, surprised that they would be sent directly to the penultimate floor and be given the core so easily, while Nameless takes care of the annoying Shadow Guild. This deal is too good to be true, and they suspect Lorug is planning something. Yura tells them that Lorug is a strange man, but he wouldn't tell a ridiculous lie like this. Ornis takes the core and says, "Action is faster than overthinking it." The cleanliness freak sent a message yesterday and said there is someone from Nameless in the guild, and this girl's name is Olivia. She is supposedly a cleanliness fanatic and is about to finish her treatment. They continue their conversation as they walk, and Ornist tells them and asks, "How can someone of rank S allow the Shadow Guild's failures to sneak up on her? This damages our reputation." Suddenly, Mishani rushes over to them and tells them to come immediately to save Krasia. Alec and his friends go to Krasia and find her very exhausted and unable to stand. She tells them that she was drugged and Olivia has disappeared. She believes she returned to the labyrinth. Krasia says she won't fully recover and can't fight in that condition, and the Shadow Guild is there, so the situation is dangerous. Ornis tells her that that rude girl is a rank S swordswoman and won't be defeated by the Shadow Squad twice, and even if it happens, it's not their problem. He asks her to calm down a little. Krasia tells them that Olivia informed her of a traitor, so it's not just the Shadow Guild waiting for her in the labyrinth. There is someone there capable of leaving a rank S swordswoman on the brink of death. He has returned there because her leg has healed, and Krasia is now very worried about her, and decides to go to protect her. When she goes outside, she sees Alec and Yurha together, and they decide to go with her. Ornest also decides to go with them. They all arrive at a dungeon in the southwest of the labyrinth. Yurha tells them that dungeon is very annoying, with a cannibal creature everywhere inside, and it's a real maze. Suddenly, Maribel appears, and the girls are surprised and ask her angrily what she's doing there. Maribel tells them she heard Olivia ran away and came to help them, and more importantly, she came to see more of Alec's amazing spells. Yurha gets angry at her for getting close to Alec and pushes her away, telling her she refuses and she won't join them, as the mission will be easier with just the 4 of them. Maribel then tells them about Olivia, saying she is often misunderstood, but she is actually kind. She recalls when they were training together. Olivia asks her why she always hangs around her. Maribel tells her that she is the best swordswoman she has seen around and asks her for training tips. Olivia tells her she prefers solitude, as she only joined Nameless to clear the dungeon. Maribel is very happy and tells her they will enter the dungeon together and leaves. We return to the present, and she says, "But tell me, are you going to take me with you?" Yura told her to go inform the guild leader that they had entered the dungeon, but they believe Olivia is currently in trouble. Maribel then pleaded with them to find her friend as soon as possible, and she rushed off. At that moment, we see Ornest giving Alec something, a secret weapon, and tells him to guard it. The scene then shifts to the labyrinth, specifically on the 72nd floor, the Red Bull Temple. We see Krasia activating a teleportation circle. She was very focused. "This way we can still gather again, even if we get separated by traps." Ornest told her, "We rely on you, genius. Hopefully we can benefit from you this time." He then playfully hits her on the head and mocks her. She gets extremely angry and kicks him with both feet, but unfortunately he falls into the teleportation circle. Alec tries to catch him, but he also activates a teleportation circle and finds himself in a barren place full of monsters. He uses his power on them one after another, striking them with a massive lightning bolt. Meanwhile, we see Krasia also activating her secret weapon. Yes, it's a tracking device that can track him as long as he wears the bracelet on his wrist. However, they were separated from Yurha, who we find is trying to wake up Ornest. That stupid boy. Alec then encounters a group of monsters. He surprises them, and Krasia tries her best. They kill them one after another. They were very strong. Then, they continue their journey quickly. Krasia told him, "Bravo, Alec! You can use support magic with high efficiency." At that moment, he stops and kneels on the ground. "What's the matter?" she asks. He replies, "It seems there's a trap, or something." But then they find a scroll with some blood on it, and they realize that Olivia is very close. On the other side, we see Yura and Ornest fleeing quickly from the monsters. She told him, "Do something instead of just running." He replied, "Why don't you do something, sister? What's it to me? I'm just running like you are." Yura then uses her magical power, a defensive spell, which not only defends them but also sends them flying to another location. Ornest then attacks the monsters with his deadly arrow, which was very fast. She uses an enhancement spell on him to make him much stronger and faster. He slices off their heads one after another while the rest flee quickly. Yurha told him, "Bravo, well done, you are truly a genius." He replied, "Of course, I know I'm the strongest." They continue their way and arrive at the floor boss, but they find it dead. It seems someone killed it with a single sword strike. "Friends, who could possibly do this?" Ornest tells them that there is only one person who can do this, a great swordswoman. Yes, it's Amelia Danielle, a master duelist. Next, we see Amelia, who is rank S, and the person talking to her is the leader of the Shadow Guild. They talk about a very strong woman, wondering why she is working with them if she is a great rank S swordswoman. "We should recruit her to our team, or even you, my friend, you should work with us." The other person informs him that they have a completely different goal than them and will never change his principles. He wants to become stronger, to reach the peak of his power, which means he needs experience to increase his strength. At that moment, these people gather around him and tell him, "Leader Gloria, there are intruders on the 72nd floor." The rest of the Nameless members, it's likely another squad is helping them, Leader. Leader orders them to go and get rid of them. The scene transitions back to Alec and Krasia, who are still searching and running quickly to find Olivia. Finally, they catch up to her. She was sitting on the ground, unable to move. Olivia asked Krasia to treat her quickly, but Krasia refused, saying that if she did, Olivia would run away and they need to bring her back with them. "We came here to bring you back." Alec talks to her and says, "We really want you with us, and Krasia truly wants you. She loves you. But you know the devil is clever, and she was frustrated when she argued with you." Olivia replied, "Listen, you don't know anything. She deceived you before." Olivia tries to leave, but Alec stops her. "Wait, there are people who love you. People waiting for you. Someone like Maribel loves you a lot, and she is the one who insisted we come here to rescue you, and now you want to leave?" She tells them, "I won't leave, but I want revenge on the traitor. It's Master A. He is the man who allowed my mother to die, but I must get revenge on him as soon as possible." They are all surprised that he is the one who killed her mother. Then she leaves them and activates a magic circle, but Krasia runs quickly and enters the circle. Since Alec is linked to her, he goes with her too. They find themselves in a den of monsters. What will they be able to do? Wait for the next episode to find out everything? Hello, friends. Today we will be summarizing the new, very exciting 8th episode of the anime. Alec and his friends find themselves in a place filled with many monsters, perhaps led by the one-armed Antichrist figure. They are very afraid, and today they have no choice but to fight. but the number of monsters is huge. They might think of a trick to escape. Alec uses his sword and lunges at them with great speed. Then his friends help him. However, this massive one-eyed monster is very strong. Olivia steps in, cutting down many monsters with a single blow. She tells Alec, "Be a bit tougher. If you are an S-rank swordsman, you shouldn't let enemies like these defeat you." The other girl, Krasia, tries to perform an instant transition to escape the monsters, but the circle vanishes in a second. There is an anti-magic field that cancels the spell, so they now have to take charge and fight them to the death. The way Olivia uses her sword suggests she might be a ninja fighter. She is truly skilled. She decapitates a monster in an instant. Alec is surprised by this immense power, which is the opposite of Ernest's style. It is sharp, yet calm at the same time. The powerful S-rank swordswoman starts to address him, asking, "What is your name, handsome young man with the sword?" He introduces himself as Alec. Filled with enthusiasm, he starts fighting with strength. Olivia tells him, "Don't get cocky. You haven't mastered your weapon yet. You are talented, but you are not exploiting your talent to the fullest. Don't try to overpower your opponent with strength, but with mind, because the thing you use your mind for may exceed brute force. Your sword is like an organ in your body. Let it move as it wills, as if you are one person. This will help you." He starts killing them, but the numbers increase and multiply. Olivia says, "We must find the one using the magic eater to cut off his head and escape this place quickly." Alec asks Krasia about the magic eater. She informs them that it is most likely in the back, but they won't be able to reach it with this huge number surrounding them. Olivia tells her, "I will take care of it." She rushes forward at great speed, cutting and killing everyone in her path quickly, while Alec tries to distract the others. That bird-like monster runs toward him and tries to pull his sword, but Alec uses all his power to fend it off. He faces it head-on and tries to run quickly to lure it to another location. He was very smart. The bird-like monster accidentally runs into and kills its comrade. Meanwhile, we see the magic eater using a bell and moving around the place. Olivia cuts down everyone in her path with great speed and finally reaches him, killing him with a single sword strike. The bell drops and she smashes it, then quickly calls out to Krasia. Use the transitional energy so they can leave the place. Krasia indeed activates the energy that will transport them to another location. Alec uses the quintuple lightning bolt to strike everyone in the area so they don't follow them. Then, Alec jumps, and Olivia transitions with them at the very last moment. After the transition, she talks to him and says, "Why did you hide it? You are not a swordsman. You are a good mage." He replies, "I apologize, honestly, I just forgot. But in the end, thank you. I would have met my end if I had been alone there, but thank God he saved me, and it's all thanks to you and your grace. Thank God you are well." Then Krasia speaks to Olivia and says, "You haven't recovered completely, you should rest." But she says, "What you said is true, your teacher killed my mother." Olivia replies, "Of course, for sure, I wouldn't joke about this. This happened when I was a little girl. When my mother left for an adventure, I was left alone in this world." She then recalls the past, remembering her master, Malaya, teaching and training her when she was next to a grave, and he taught me everything there was to know about the sword. I was happy, even though I thought of my mother every day. Milia was like a father to me sometimes, and I trusted and respected him more than anyone else, until he told me the truth. Then we see Olivia killing monsters, and Milia tells her he is proud of her because she has become stronger than he expected. Then he pulls out his bloody sword, attacks her, wounds her, and knocks her to the ground. Then he tells her, "Before your end comes, let me tell you the truth. I am the one who killed your mother." Olivia is surprised and cries bitterly. Then we return to the present, and she tells Krasia and Alex that she learned after that, Milia and her mother were in the same squad. It was the matter of her whole life. She grew close to the man who killed her mother. Then she reveals her back to them, and they see the scars. She tells them that all she has left are those scars, and she will never be able to reach Milia, for he has taken everything from her. Then Alex covers her back and tells her that even if she learned to fight from someone else, her fighting style is very beautiful. He realizes what it means for a person to believe they have nothing left, and his friends were the ones who proved him wrong. Then Krasia tells her that it's not just the scars on her back. When she saw her whole body at the guild, she could imagine all the amazing things she had been through. Magic cannot heal old scars, and she cannot change the past, nor does she want to interfere with someone else's revenge plan, but she can heal any wounds she receives from now on. Olivia is touched by Krasia's words and thanks her, telling her that she knew Lorog and Marvel wanted to help her, but they don't know Milia, nor do they know the terror of the Swordmaster. Alex then tells her that he will end this matter immediately and will fight instead of Lorog and Marvel. Olivia thanks them for standing by her side. Then the scene shifts to Ernest and Yura, who are in that dungeon basement. Ernest is angry because the place is full of traps. Yura tells him that the source of 90% of their problems is touching things. She is worried about the thing that killed the leader of that floor. Then she wonders if Alex and the others are okay. Ernest tells her that if the Swordmaster is here, there is no doubt he has reached the final floor, and Olivier might go to fight him, but Alex and Krasia will not do that. Then they hear a sound, and we see those people appear in front of Yura and Ernest. When they attack them, Yura and Ernest easily defeat them. Then Ernest asks them, "What is your goal? Is it the core of the dungeon's final floor?" Then Yura uses her power and tortures him. The gang leader immediately tells her that the bosses ordered them to steal the core of the final floor. She asks him what his relationship is with the Swordmaster Milia. That fool mocks her and tells her that Milia is very strong and defeated that girl, and that he also defeated the floor boss by himself. Then Ernest speaks and tells Yura that those gang members have nothing to do with it, and suggests they meet up with Alex and the others and return to the guild, as they might have found Olivia already. They will leave these gang members to rot in prison. Then they hear a strange sound and we see the dungeon starting to collapse. The gang leader says mockingly, "It's simple. The fastest way to absorb the energy of the dungeon's core is to eat it." Suddenly, the place they are in explodes, and Milia and those with him are able to free their restraints. He then takes Yura with him, although he doesn't believe he found what he was looking for in such a place. Ernest tries to run after him, but cannot. Then Milia tells him that he should follow them directly to the 73rd floor, the bottom of the dungeon, where they can enjoy fighting over the core. The scene then shifts to Alex, Olivia, and Amelia. Alex tells Olivia that he is a Galdana court sorcerer. She realizes he is a very important nobleman, and everything he tells her confirms that this is the reason for his vast amount of magical energy. Alex interrupts her and tells her that he learned the basics of magic in his childhood after his mother was lost to a plague. His father was constantly busy with work, and studying magic was his only hobby. Olivia laughs because the role of an adventurer indeed suits him more than that of a court sorcerer. He tells her that there are many fun dungeons in Vizzle. At that moment, Amelia notices that Yura and Ernest are very late. She tells Alex that she and Yura had decided that if they got separated, they would return here. Suddenly, they find the place has been destroyed and has a large hole in it. Alex is astonished because there was no such hole here before. They realize it is a recent one, but they are in a dungeon and the walls and floors leading down are reinforced with magic. Olivia says this is normal, but sometimes nothing is normal in a dungeon. Suddenly, they find their friend Yura's hat. After that, we move to Yura after she regains consciousness. She finds herself with the leader Gloria and his men who are talking about her as a support sorcerer. When leader Gloria finds that she has regained consciousness, he apologizes to her for his comrades' harsh treatment. She asks him why they didn't kill her. The leader replies that he may be a polite man, but he won't answer that question, adding that she is very charming, like a trapped little animal. He then decides to grab her by the neck to see how long she can pretend to be strong. The swordmaster tells them to stop, saying he doesn't have time for these silly games. The leader replies that he was just joking with her, and that many people don't dedicate themselves to their work like they do. Suddenly, Ernest arrives and attacks them to rescue his friend Yura. Then Ernest attacks Gloria, but Gloria uses his magic and counterattacks, parrying Ernest's blow. Gloria calls his comrade to get up from the ground quickly. His comrade tells him that Ernest appeared out of nowhere with his spear, and if he hadn't eaten those cores, he would have died. When Gloria's comrade sees the Mobius ring with Yura, he goes to take it from her, saying, "This thing will never save you." Then Ernest asks them, "Tell me, how do you know Yura's name?" This young man then punches Yura in the stomach and asks the swordmaster to get to work. Ernest then warns him, "If you touch Yura, I will kill you slowly and cut you to pieces." The young man and the swordmaster take her and leave. Ernest wants to go after them, but Gloria distracts him, saying, "I am a member of the most famous Shadow Guild. Don't think you can defeat me quickly. You cannot go save her." They charge at each other, and Ernest strikes him. Ernest then says that the weapon is not an artifact. There is something strange about it, but it doesn't compare to the Maristika. Ernest strikes and breaks Gloria's sword and hits Gloria in the stomach. Gloria is astonished by what happened, saying, "The swordmaster stands around all day trying to tell me what to do. I will kill you all, but I must calm down first. I can't handle the pressure." Gloria stands up again and speaks to the demon to devour his blood, his flesh, and everything he owns, transforming into angry Gloria. He heals himself and his sword returns to its former state. Then he tells Ernest, "I will kill you now." Thus ends today's episode of this anime. Wait for us in the next episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all that is new. Horace was surprised that Gloria was able to heal herself completely in such a short time. But he was unmoved, thinking that he would just keep attacking until Gloria stopped regenerating. But as Ernest stabbed Gloria in the chest, she suddenly laughed out loud because Ernest had just made the worst move. He held Batenhila out of his chest and explained that his heretic blood magic didn't just heal his body using her own blood, but also strengthening her as she takes more damage, and Gloria rushes at Ernest and immediately feels that Gloria is actually stronger than before. The situation gets worse because Gloria can make any weapon using blood. So while Ernest was stunned, Gloria made a whip and tied his leg and threw him up and then threw him hard to the ground. Because of this, Ernest couldn't move, and Gloria started laughing out loud because it had been a long time since she had been able to fight as hard as Ernest. He said he was happy, but it was time to finish Ernest. But Ernest refused to be defeated and stood up and called for his spear. But instead of catching it, he let the spear fly straight at Gloria. Gloria was able to avoid it because she expected Ernest to make a strange move, but what he didn't expect was that Ernest would run closer and punch him instead of using the spear. A few years ago, when Ernest and Alec were still students, they were set to duel, and in the middle of the fight, Ernest slipped and dropped his spear, which flew and pierced the wall. But he didn't budge and rushed at Alec with his fist. The fight was stopped when Headmess arrived because he was so angry about the destruction of the wall and ordered them to rebuild it until it was finished. After that, Alex praised Ernest for his genius strategy because he didn't expect him to let go of the soldier. Techniques like magic swords consume mana quickly, so destruction like that is effective. It was really just an accident for Ernest, but he didn't want to admit it, so he pretended he did it on purpose. But now, he's really doing it on purpose, and he doesn't know how to use offensive spells like Neos magic like Yura or healing spells like Crazy, but when it comes to close quarters combat, there's almost no one better than him. And even though Gloria gets stronger as she bleeds more, Ernest just plans to outdo her until she runs out of regeneration magic. But as Gloria lay on the floor, she started laughing again, because she couldn't believe that Ornest was so innocent as to think that he could defeat magic using only his physical strength. And to prove his superiority, he plans to show Ornest the true power of magic by taming a creature called Answers. Meanwhile, at the guild, Livy and Lord have a meeting to discuss some matters. But Lord was busy devouring all the sweets on the table, so he wasn't listening, and Liviel asked him if it was true that he had chosen Ornest as his raid partner, and Lord confirmed that. He added that there shouldn't be any problems with guild regulations because Ox's party had just been promoted to S rank. He had heard the news about the five-colored magician coming to Fizel, and he really wanted to see him in person, because it was very rare for a mage to be able to use all types of magic. He couldn't even be sure if the news about Alec was true. Livy and Lord agreed because she was a person who didn't just believe until she saw it for herself, and it was hard for her to believe that Alec and his party were really the ones who set the dungeon record back then in Galdina. But he also knows that Naora and her group are not like others. They are not the type to lie about achievements. He deeply respects Bianca. It's one of the reasons he deems her one of the few people who earned his trust. So the news was probably true, and Marble suddenly arrived to find the guildmaster, bringing bad news. He said that Olivia ran away and entered the dungeon to recover, and this worried Lil very much. But Marble said that he shouldn't worry, because Alec had already gone in to chase him, and Lark felt relieved. But the guildmaster was still very worried, because he had to think not only about Olivia, but also about Alec and his party. He had planned to wait for the right time to ambush the Shadow Guild and wipe them out completely, but that plan was ruined now. And then he said goodbye to begin damage control. But before that, he had a question for Marble. Based on what he saw, it seemed like Alec could only use fire and lightning magic, and he wanted to know Marble's opinion. Marble replied that when it comes to Alec's offensive magic, it seems like he intentionally limits himself to those two elements. Lord wondered if this meant the news about his ability to use the 5 elements was false. But Livia feels that Alec is really just hiding his true abilities. But for now, that's a topic for another day. And what was important now was that he had to follow the wine into the dungeon because, if his hunch was correct, it was now full of different types of monsters. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon, a death beam was aimed at Ornest's face and he could do nothing to avoid it. But at the last second, Alec arrived and reversed the spell on him. And there, Alex asked Ornest if he was okay. And Ornest said he was so happy that it came because he really thought he was going to die. Crazy and Olivia arrive and ask if Alex has defeated Gloria. But through the smoke, they saw Gloria Bow still standing and not even injured. And Olivia recognized her blood magic and knew it would be very difficult to defeat. He offered to help Ornest defeat Gloria, but Ornest said they had a bigger problem. He mentioned that Mora was recently kidnapped by one of the Shadow Guild's personnel and Mel. He didn't know what their purpose was with Mor, but they called him by name and he heard the Shadow Guild members say that they had been looking for Mora for a long time. Right now they are taking Yor to the dungeon core, and Ornest doesn't know what their plan is there. But that definitely wasn't good. And Crazy started treating Ornest's wounds and told Alec to stay here with him to fight Gloria while he and Olivia would go after Yora. But Gloria refused to allow that, so she unleashed another series of death races. But Alec threw them back at him, creating a cloud of dust that served as perfect cover for Olivia and Crazy to slip through, and Olivia even managed to throw her spear back at Ornest. And Gloria was so angry that someone else interfered in her fight, but before he could attack again, he suddenly fell to his knees due to extreme fatigue, heaving a sigh of relief because it meant that Gloria was starting to feel the effects of his repeated use of magic. And if they continue to pressure him, his mana will also run out and he will no longer be able to heal. At the same time, Levi Lore and Marble entered the dungeon at the same time, and Levi Lore said that he thought the demon cultists were behind all of this. They are a group within the Shadow Guild that worships demons and such. You need to be especially careful with those with seals on their bodies, because they don't care what they sacrifice in exchange for strength. Meanwhile, with Alec and Nest, Gloria realized that she had been pushed into danger, so she decided to pour everything into it and activate her sorcery seal. This gives him immense strength and physical ability. He could move too quickly and suddenly bite Ornest's shoulder before Alec could even react. When Alec noticed what was happening, he tried to hit Gloria with a lightning spell, but Gloria immediately jumped up and dodged. He was too fast for Alec to aim properly. So Alec gave up on the attempt. He was the target and just cast a wide area lightning spell. Gloria was hit, and for a moment, Alec thought that was enough to defeat her. But Gloria started smiling again and said that Alec's trials were useless when he was in this condition. He could fill his mana over and over again with his own blood, and there was no way Alec could deplete it using just weak attacks like that. Gloria started to launch a series of slashes at Alec, and Alec managed to put up a shield to block them. But with the speed of Gloria's attack, it won't be long before her defenses are broken, and in the end, Alec's barrier was broken. As Gloria prepares to finish him off, she notices that Ornest is no longer behind Alec. And at that moment, we saw Ornest secretly approaching from behind Gloria. But Gloria noticed him and immediately blocked his snake attack. Because of the strength and speed of Gloria's physical body, it was very difficult to chase the wounded Ornest. Gloria started laughing at Ornest and said that he had the audacity to call himself a genius. He was just a worthless person who lived a comfortable life just because he was the big fish in a small pond. After the beating that Gloria gave him, Ornest's body was bloody and broken, and even though Alec wanted to help, Gloria threatened him. He said he would stay if he didn't want Ornest to die at that time. But while Gloria was focused on Alec, Ornest managed to recover and stab him in the chest with a flame-charged attack. As he did that, and remembered the days when he was young, he would often spar with his older brother. His older brother is better at using bat, and they are too far apart. Ornest is frustrated because no matter what he does, he always loses. So he dedicates most of his time to practicing so that one day he can beat his older brother. One night, his older brother caught him practicing secretly and was impressed by his dedication, but he is hiding a fatal illness and is often coughing up blood, and he knows he won't last long. He didn't want Ornest to know that, so he left immediately when he saw him. Soon, his brother's condition worsened, and he could no longer hide it and was devastated when he found out. He insisted that his brother couldn't die because they hadn't had a rematch yet. But his older brother said there was no need for a rematch and that he already knew that Ornest would become the best spearman in the world. Returning to the present, Ornest stabbed again and made another large hole in Gloria's body using fire. Meanwhile, Crazy and Olivia are on their way to the dungeon core to block Melik, and Olivia is emotionally preparing for their final confrontation. On the other hand, the Shadow Guild member had arrived at the door to the very bottom of the labyrinth. When they opened it, they saw the stairs leading up to the dungeon core, and the Shadow Guild member was very happy. He quickly approached it because he liked things like this. He removed it from the pedestal and looked at it closely, unable to believe he had gotten it. But for some unknown reason, Mage just looked at him with intense disdain in her eyes. We continue our story with Ernest asking Alec to boost the fire magic on him once again. Ernest reveals to Gloria that he and Alec tricked him. During the fight, the fire coming from Ernest's spear was actually Alec's doing. Alec casts an offensive fire spell again, setting Ernest ablaze. Ernest gets hyped up and immediately attacks. Gloria asks Alec, "Are you crazy? How can you use an offensive fire spell on your friend? Aren't you afraid for him?" But Ernest doesn't care at all. He continues his assault on Gloria, landing multiple blows while engulfed in flames, and successfully cuts off Gloria's arm. Gloria realizes he cannot use his blood magic regeneration skill because Ernest has burned his blood, preventing him from healing. Ernest shouts to Alec, "Light me up again so I can finish him." Alec blasts him with fire magic once more. Ernest flies into the air, ready to strike. Gloria laughs, saying, "Impossible. I won't lose to a weakling like you." Ernest ignores him and attacks, thanking Gloria for forcing him to unleash his full power. He explains that ever since his friend died, he has been searching for someone with great power to defeat in battle. He delivers a rapid barrage of strikes with his fire spear, piercing Gloria's body and killing him. Ernest tells the fallen Gloria that he should be honored to die by his hand, as history will speak of this legendary battle. The scene shifts to Yuri. She opens her eyes to find a member of the Shadow Guild who says, "Finally, you're awake." He shows her the dungeon's magic stone, boasting that while adventurers exhaust themselves finding it, he simply takes it at the end to eat and increase his power. Suddenly, he takes a heavy blow from Milia, who kills him, saying, "Shut up, I'm tired of your chatter." Milia takes the dungeon core, stating he no longer has any use for the Shadow Guild. Melia looks at Yuri and tells her, "Get up, you need to take me to the wish-granting tree, Eden." Yuri says she has never heard of it, but Melia explains she is the only one with enough magical energy to see and locate it. Yuri insists she knows nothing about it. The Shadow Guild member suddenly stands up, surviving the first hit, asking Melia, "What is this stupidity? Do you think you can kill me and escape the guild's punishment?" Melia laughs at his nonsense, admitting he only joined them to seek power, but now they are useless. He delivers a final, fatal blow. Melia remarks that his time with the guild gave him some experience, noting that if he can't find strong enemies to challenge, he has no choice but to earn the world's hatred. Suddenly, Olivia and Kryza arrive. Olivia immediately threatens Melia. Yuri is relieved her friends are there to save her. She warns Melia, "Be careful, these aren't my only friends. Ernest and Alec are coming soon, so this is your only chance to run." Melia mocks her, asking if she thinks her pathetic friends will scare him off. However, when he hears the name Alec, he recognizes him as Alec of the Yeager family, and says he has been waiting a long time to fight him. Back with Alec and Ernest, Ernest says he can't go on. The fight has exhausted all his power. Alec gives him a magic potion to recover, but Ernest is still too tired. He tells Alec to go on alone, but warns him, "Watch out for the Swordmaster Melia. He killed the dungeon monster easily. He is the strongest fighter you will ever see." Ernest recalls his teacher scolding him for being rash, and warning him that if he ever met Swordmaster Melia, he must run and never try to fight him. Ernest admits he is embarrassed to give this advice, but tells Alec not to be reckless. Alec takes the teleportation chain, reassures Ernest, and promises to save their friends. Returning to Melia, he tells Olivia he has no time to play. Olivia charges at him, shouting that he will pay for killing her mother, but she suddenly runs past him to save Yuri. It was a diversion. She calls out to Kryza, "Now!" Kryza prepares a magic arrow. When she fires, it splits into countless arrows raining down on Melia. However, Melia removes his cloak and easily blocks and breaks them all. Yuri uses her magic to bind Melia with chains. Kryza threatens him and prepares her strongest attack, the fire arrow, while Yuri buffs her power. Kryza fires the massive flaming arrow, but the Swordmaster Melia, with a single strike of his sword, shatters the iron chains and blocks the arrow, destroying it easily. Kryza is shocked, as that was her strongest move enhanced by Yuri. Suddenly, Olivia attacks from behind. She realizes Melia allowed her to save Yuri because he knew they would use support magic to boost their levels. He wanted to test their limits. Olivia notes this is expected of the legendary Swordmaster. Melia blocks her attack effortlessly and asks if she gave up on revenge. She refuses, saying she won't let anyone else kill him. Melia notices her wounds have healed and realizes her friends used healing magic. He calls this her biggest mistake, saying that relying on these children won't help her, and that she has disappointed him after all his training. Flashback. We see the death of Olivia's mother. Melia found Olivia crying because her friends bullied her for being an orphan. He told her to rejoice, as loneliness would make her stronger than them, and perhaps even stronger than him. She begged him to train her, and he taught her the basics of swordsmanship. Back to the present, Olivia attacks, but he blocks her. She tells him to stop his self-righteous preaching, calling him selfish. She claims she reached her rank through her own effort to avenge her mother. Milia laughs and lands a powerful blow, sending her flying. Kryza gets angry and fires a magic arrow to help, but Milia catches it, calling it weak. He reiterates that loneliness would have made Olivia stronger. Milia approaches Kryza and Yuri to finish them. Olivia screams for them to run, but they stand their ground. Milia swings his sword for a fatal strike. Suddenly, Olivia vanishes and reappears in front of the attack, taking the blow to protect her friends. She falls, telling Kryza she succeeded in protecting them. Kryza heals her, but Olivia feels weak and despairs, regretting not listening to Milia about loneliness. She says their only hope is Alec. Just then, Alec arrives, flying in and landing a powerful blow on Milia. Milia blocks it, smiling and excited. Alec tells Yuri to take care of Olivia and attacks Milia. They fight fiercely. Alec asks why he hurt Olivia. Milia replies that if she were truly weak, he wouldn't have bothered. He always looks for strong challengers. Alec gets furious and attacks again, but Milia teleports behind him. He asks, "You're a mage, aren't you? Why fight with a sword? I'm excited to see your magic." Alec replies, "Your wish is my command." He casts his strongest lightning spell, summoning a legendary lightning dragon, and attacks with full force. Milia stands his ground like a lion, and despite the immense power, he cuts the dragon in half with his sword. Milia is surprised to find he sustained an injury from Alec's magical power. He says, "Your power isn't bad, but I thought it would be stronger. If you have any other magic, show me quickly." Alec, annoyed, tells him to watch closely if he wants to see legendary magic. Yuri realizes Alec is about to use his forbidden magic. Flashback. Ernest warned Alec against being reckless. Alec apologizes in his mind, saying he must use his special magic. Alec concentrates to release all the mana in his body. He tells Milia he knew he couldn't win a direct confrontation, so he must use this spell, the only way to defeat him and protect his friends. He prepares to merge the 5 elemental magics, earth, water, fire, wind, etc., into a single strike. Milia is absolutely thrilled and excited to witness this legendary magic. Alec successfully combines the elements and launches the attack at Milia. But will this attack be enough to defeat him? The episode ends here. If you're excited, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be the first to watch the new episode. We continue our story by learning some information about magical energy. We learn that it functions like blood in the human body, and there are tens of thousands of different types of magical energy. This energy exists inside the body, and there is no way to absorb it from the outside. We then go into a flashback, where we see Ernest reading a magic book about the dungeon boss on the 68th floor. This boss is the Hydra monster, known for having many heads, each using a different type of magical energy. To defeat the Hydra, you must use all types of magic against it. Alec is practically going crazy, asking how they can use 5 magical elements at once during a fight. Yuri tells him to calm down, noting that Alec can use fire and lightning magic, leaving 3 elements, earth, wind, and water, which they can split among themselves. Kryza decides to learn wind magic, saying it suits her, while Yuri says she can use earth and water but cannot use offensive spells. Ernest tells them to forget about him, as he doesn't intend to learn magic or use spells in battle. Kryza argues with him, insisting he must help if they want to defeat the Hydra, and she gets angry and hits him with a wind spell. After finishing the book, Alec realizes he lacks wind, water, and earth magic. He says he must find a way to make magical energy flow into his body to use all 5 elements at once. He considers drawing energy from the surrounding elements, but Yuri and Kryza warn him that external energy might be rejected by his body, causing poisoning. They talk about complex matters that Alec doesn't understand, so he asks them to simplify it. He decides to execute his idea anyway, taking the magic books and asking for a chance to try. Yuri calls him reckless, but trusts he will succeed. Ernest, though confused, agrees that they should support Alec because he is smart. We see Alec outside, practicing his ideas to merge the 5 elements. Returning from the flashback, Milia can't believe Alec managed to merge the elements and use them against him, calling him stupid for sacrificing himself. However, Yuri insists Alec is intelligent and she knew he would succeed. Indeed, Alec merges the 5 elements and attacks Milia. Milia tries to block the wind magic with a sword but fails, sustaining a serious chest wound. Kryza and Yuri are happy that Alec's fusion magic worked. Alec continues his strange spells, and this time Milia tries to dodge until Alec traps him in a powerful magical vortex. Milia laughs, confident he can block the attacks. He draws his swords, strikes the vortex, and destroys it. Milia's excitement hits max level, thrilled by Alec's power. Alec doesn't give up and continues attacking, but Milia handles it with confidence, rushing him. Milia tells Alec he is happy to finally find a strong opponent to test his true power. Suddenly, Milia's sword breaks after blocking an attack. He says fighting someone stronger makes him stronger, throws away the broken sword, and tells Alec to get ready for his true power. Alec is shocked when Milia mentions his master's name. Milia claims to know a lot about the master and warns Alec to forget about him. He reveals that Alec's mother didn't die of a plague, but was killed, shocking Alec. Alec demands the truth, but Milia tells him to forget it. Milia pulls out the dungeon's magic stone and starts absorbing its energy. A massive magic circle surrounds Milia, and his sword literally absorbs the stone. He tells Alec that the element fusion skill won't last long, so they need to hurry. Meanwhile, Vissel and Lorg arrive to treat Ernest. Vissel is surprised Alec used the fusion skill. Ernest warns Marbell not to celebrate, explaining the skill is dangerous and drains all life energy, with a limit of only 10 minutes before it kills the user. Ernest gets up to help Alec despite his injuries. Meanwhile, a strange priest arrives at Gloria's location with a coffin, which releases demonic energy that pulls Gloria inside and seals him. Vassell hopes Alec wins, but worries because Melia has the dungeon core and the power of 4 rank fighters combined. Back at the battle, Melia uses a magic strike with his sword. Alec creates a shield, but Melia's attack shatters the first barrier, forcing Alec to create multiple layers to deflect it. Melia continues the onslaught. Yuri creates ice and rock barriers to help, but Melia is too fast. Alec starts feeling exhausted and his vision blurs. Olivia recognizes Melia's technique, fusing spells with swordsmanship, and comes up with a plan. Alec realizes 5 minutes have passed and he must end the fight quickly. Melia attacks again, breaking Alec's guard and knocking him down. Alec tries to find a way to stop the magic core's power. Yuri uses iron chains, but Melia breaks them easily. Alec unleashes every spell he knows, but Melia, like a ghost, blocks everything. Even Alec's strongest spell results in an explosion that leaves Melia standing like a lion. Criessa yells for Alec to use the Beast's Den technique. Alec transforms his magic staff into a sword. Melia mocks him for switching to swordsmanship. Suddenly, a spell activates beneath them, created by Criessa to absorb the Dungeon Stone's energy from Melia, forcing him to use only his sword without magic. Alec attacks with his sword, but Melia lands a heavy blow, knocking Alec down. Melia calls it a silly trick. Alec drinks a healing potion and says he never gives up because he has his friends. Melia mocks him again. They clash swords fiercely, but Alec can't match Melia's strength. Melia notes Alec has less than a minute left. Alec attacks again, getting cut repeatedly, but finally manages to land a strong blow to Melia's face. Melia thanks him for the fight and prepares to finish him off. Olivia intervenes, striking Melia in the chest. Melia calls her stupid, but she demands to know why he betrayed her and raised her only to abandon her. Melia challenges her to defeat him if she wants answers. Olivia fights him but is overpowered. When she tires, Alec steps in to help her hold her sword. He tells Melia to deliver a message to his master. I defeated the Sword King myself. Alec tells Olivia there are only 10 seconds of his power left. They attack together. Melia blocks and counts down the seconds. When the time is up, Alec's sword and power vanish. Melia prepares to kill him, but Criessa announces the time is up. The magic draining spell beneath them disappears. This was Olivia's plan, to drain Melia's magic until the last second, then attack all at once. The trio unleashes their spells. Alec uses lightning magic. Melia tries to resist with his sword, but Olivia blocks his defense. Alec hits him with a massive lightning strike. Melia survives and tries to attack, but Criessa enters and hits him with a powerful magic arrow that sends him flying. The arrow pierces his chest, and he falls, unable to believe he was tricked. He realizes their recent struggles were a distraction for Criessa's final shot. Will this be enough to kill him? We will find out in the final episode. If you are as excited as I am for the finale, don't forget to support us with a like and subscription. Continuing our story, we see Criessa holding Melia down, telling him, "Don't you dare move this time, I won't miss the strike and it will definitely hit and kill you." Alec looks at her and Melia realizes then that he is lost. He brings out the magical dungeon core and decides to give it to them, saying that this is the victor's gift. Afterward, we see Yuri talking about the Tree of Eden, stating that it is the reason the Shadow Guild is targeting her. She explains that once an adventurer collects all the magical stones, they can find the Land of Eden, the rare land that grants all wishes. Here, Melia interrupts them, saying, "Your problem is that you think the dungeon core's only purpose is to enhance magical power, but the magical dungeon core has its own unique will, which is rarely heard by anyone." They all stare at him, not understanding a word he's saying. Later, we see Alec starting to wake up, telling them, "Don't let him escape. We have to settle our score with him after what he did to Olivia." He tells Melia, "If you're a real man, answer all the questions she wants to know." Melia asks them, "Do you know anything about the magical dungeon syndrome?" Criessa replies that it is a disease where people turn into monsters due to the magical power within the dungeon, and it is very difficult to recover from, though it can be somewhat contained and controlled. Melia tells them, "That is exactly what happened to me." He explains that long ago, he was part of a group of adventurers. They were teenagers with no significant combat experience, and Olivia's mother was with them in the team. After every battle, Olivia's mother would always talk to Melia, asking, "What do you think of my power?" It was clear she loved fighting. He says that despite how similar they were, she contracted the dungeon syndrome and turned into a monster. Her final wish was for him to finish her off before anyone saw her like that. Melia fulfilled her wish and killed her. Afterward, Melia decided to leave the group to search for Olivia and raise her, teaching her how to fight so she could become a strong warrior like her mother. He was surprised to find that Olivia possessed the same fighting talent as her mother. Melia says that when Olivia was young, she had the same energy, vitality, and madness as her mother, which made him happy while training her. Olivia used to ask him, "Why don't you cut your hair? It might hinder you during combat." Melia would reply, "I don't want to forget my past memories, that's why I never cut it." Melia confesses that every moment he looked at Olivia, he felt guilt and was deeply saddened because he was the reason her mother was killed. Olivia's mother would haunt his thoughts, asking him, "How can you treat the girl with such kindness after you killed her mother?" He began to doubt if it truly was her mother's will to die, wondering, what would her daughter's reaction be if she saw her mother in that terrifying monster form? Olivia hears all of this and is left in a state of shock. Melia continues, saying that after he heard about the Land of Eden that grants wishes, he decided to search for the magical dungeon stones to change his painful past. Alec asks him, "Was your wish to bring Olivia's mother back to life?" But Melia doesn't answer Alec. Instead, he speaks to Olivia, saying, "Go ahead. The opportunity is right in front of you now to take revenge on the one who killed your mother." He starts shouting at her, "I don't want you to hesitate in killing me. I want to restore your confidence." Then, the adventurer Lorge arrives with Marble. Marble immediately runs to Olivia, hugging her and saying she's happy she is safe. Olivia reassures her that she is fine. She then looks at Milia and says, I have no intention of torturing you, but I have decided to take you out of the dungeon to be judged in front of everyone. Milia tells her, you will regret this decision because the memories of the past will haunt you for the rest of your life. She replies that she knows how to live with any ordeal she passes through, and with her friends by her side, she will recover from anything. Milia remembers when he was with Olivia as a child, trying to convince her that loneliness is the most important thing in the world, saying that being alone makes you stronger than anyone else. But in the end, he feels his teachings were useless, saying, it's clear that, with your friends by your side, you have become much stronger. Then the guildmaster, Weisel, arrives, with the Undertaker who is carrying the coffin. He says, stop the drama in the stories, I'm tired of all the tales you're telling. Milia says, I thought you left the guild and became an old man who doesn't fight anymore. Weisel replies, they refused my resignation because someone like you collaborated with the Shadow Guild against us, and that's the only reason I was motivated to return. He tells him, if you want to destroy yourself, do it away from Olivia and leave her alone. Weisel calls on the Undertaker to do his job. The Undertaker opens the coffin and recites an incantation. Strange spirits emerge, bind Milia, and pull him into the box. Honest asks Alec, do you know Milia, the master of the sword? Alec says, this is the first time I've seen him, but it seems he knows a lot of information about my mother. After that, the guildmaster decides to leave the dungeon because he has a lot of work to do. Olivia collapses on the ground from exhaustion and her severe injuries. Marble thinks Olivia has died and runs to Kriza, pleading, please use your healing magic and treat her quickly. Alec also feels exhausted and falls to the ground. Kriza begins healing Olivia, but Olivia notices that Kriza is doing it reluctantly and is very annoyed. Kriza tells her, you're right, because I've exhausted my magical energy on you due to the sheer number of injuries you have. She tells her she is reckless in combat and almost died 3 times today. Olivia agrees and apologizes, saying, I was fighting recklessly and with my full power, because I was sure that if anything happened to me, you would use your magic to heal me. Kriza grabs her by the neck and says, this is the first time I realized you are a totally manipulative girl. Later, Olivia apologizes to Lorge, saying, I'm sorry for putting our team in danger. He tells her, on the contrary, we should cooperate. When I saw you last time, upset and full of rage, I felt bad for you and didn't want to pressure you, so I let you go alone. He adds, I'm glad Alec was with you during the battle to protect you, and shakes Alec's hand to thank him. Alec shakes back, saying, as adventurers, we should help one another. They all celebrate completing the dungeon mission successfully. Kriza holds the dungeon stone and wonders, who deserves this magical stone? How will we divide it among us? Yuri says that the one who should take the stone is Lorge. Honest gets annoyed, asking, what has he done since we arrived? Yuri explains that Lorge and his team have been in the dungeon for a long time, clearing out the monsters. Large goes to take the stone, but shows his noble character, saying, since you are the ones who defeated the Swordmaster Milia, this stone belongs to you. This stone will help you increase your strength. He gives the stone back to Yuri. As soon as Yuri touches the stone, it begins to glow, and she falls to the ground unconscious. In her dream, Yuri sees the Tree of Eden. The tree asks her, what is your wish? Will you enter the land of Eden and eat from the golden fruit? It tells her, I want you to collect all the magical stones and come back to me with the heroes to fulfill all your wishes. Yuri wakes up and notices Alex sleeping in the bed next to her. She goes to check on him, saying he must be tired from using such great magical power against Milia. She tries to get closer, but Honest is standing nearby watching everything. He tells her that Alec is tired and cannot move, telling her to leave him alone. Alec actually wakes up to the sound of Yuri shouting. Kriza asks her, did the magical stone make you lose consciousness? Yuri says she doesn't know and wants to see the stone again. Kriza gives it to her to check, but this time, the stone doesn't glow, and Yuri doesn't hear or see anything like before. Alec tells Yuri that Milia was right. The Shadow Guild will keep looking for these stones and will keep looking for her. Yuri says, I also want to collect all the magical stones. She notes that the Shadow Guild knows things about her that she doesn't even know about herself, and she can't remain silent while they hunt her. Honest says, that's our leader Yuri, the one who never gives up. We are with you to find the Shadow Guild and give them a proper lesson. Suddenly, Alec interrupts them with bad news. I can't use magic anymore. Even Olivia is shocked. Alec explains, using my maximum magical power in the fight against Milia was the most reckless thing I've ever done. It depleted a huge amount of magical energy from my body. He asks Olivia to train him in swordsmanship. Yuri suggests the issue might be temporary. Olivia tells him, why don't you go train with Honest? But Alec says, I want to face different opponents to gain new experiences. She asks, it seems you want to take revenge on the Shadow Guild? He replies, that since the Shadow Guild is targeting Yuri and the stones, they could face them at any time, and he wants to be ready. Olivia mentions that while she was pursuing Milia, she heard some information about the Shadow Guild. Specifically, a person named Joran Isis. This person seems heavily involved in the plot to kidnap Yuri. She tells Yuri, if you want a trail to follow, look for this person. Alec reassures her, don't be afraid, I am with you and will help you. You will never be in danger as long as I am here. Later, Alec returns to the guild and learns about a martial arts competition. He decides to participate to improve his combat skills. On their way, a guild staff member tells him that the prize for this year's tournament is a dungeon stone. Alec becomes very excited, wondering what awaits him there. When they arrive at the new city, Alec gathers with his friends and they motivate each other, vowing to win the competition to prove to the world that they are the strongest team of adventurers and mages. And with that, The first season of the story of the kingdom's mage, Alec, concludes.